7 News on your side at 11 starts now. We begin with a breaking news alert.
And breaking on North Capitol Street, a fire destroying a former firehouse that was undergoing renovations. That fire is so big that Montgomery County firefighters had to rush in to help get it under control. It's been burning. Look at that video, flames shooting out of the historic building's roof. Our Jay Korf is live for us. And Jay, you just heard from the fire chief. What did he tell you?
Yeah, the fire chief had a lot to say in his update, something that I was able to confirm about a half an hour ago from the architect of this present project. I'm going to step outside of the way. You can see this massive old historic building in front of me. That was once Engine 12, the old firehouse built, I'm not kidding you, in the late 1800s. 1898 is what the architect told me. That was back when they had, horse-drawn fire engines. So essentially, 7:18, they get the first call. They get here to 1600 North Capitol, and this place has erupted in flames out the roof. They said it was active on at least 2 floors. Quickly turned to a third alarm. 25 units, 125 firefighters out here. It was a really tough scene, so they had to call in for mutual aid to Montgomery County to help them with that aerial attack. There was a mayday at one point, so they pulled everybody out. No injuries, thankfully. And now they're in what we call a defensive posture. So they're just going to spend a long time out here pouring water on this thing in hopes of it finally getting out. They assume that they'll be here without question overnight. And at this point, no cause. But what we do know, and I have confirmed from the architect and from fire officials, is that this was under renovation. We're going to hear from Chief Donnelly, Chief Don Donnelly, here right now with what he had to say.
The old firehouse, old Engine 12, is part of this complex where they built an apartment building next to it. So they're integrated, they're seamless in between.
So just to modify that statement a little bit, Chief Donnelly has learned since we last talked to him that what was integrated was one building, 4 stories, and then on the left side, as you're seeing in the video right now, live here in Northwest Washington, on the left side is the old historic firehouse. They were integrated to form a hotel, and the architect tells me they were 90% complete of that hotel, and then this fire hits. So that's the story from here. Thankfully, again, no injuries. That's the key. As a precaution, there are some homes, obviously, here in the area in Northwest. They've evacuated those homes, but they have assured us that they are not in danger. It's going to be a long time, though, before they have a cause to this. This is such a big fire with so many levels, so many floors. They've got to sift through all that, and the fire investigators have to get in and find out that cause and origin. We are live, and we'll be back live with more developments later in this newscast. For now, Jay Korf, live in Northwest Washington.
And Jay, before you go, so much history in that building. I can tell it's got good bones. Is there any indication from what you've heard or what you can see of if they'll be able to save that building, continue what they're doing?
That's an excellent question, Carl. In fact, I just spoke with Vito, who's one of the communications, one of the spokespersons for the DC Fire Department, and he said from what he can see, it appears as though the outside structure is still intact. Of course, with any of these historic buildings, the fear is that there will be a cave-in or maybe some floors will fall onto each other, and that that old brick and that old facade could be destroyed. Of course, the hope is that does not happen.
Absolutely.
And things appear at least relatively structurally sound at this point from the eye's view.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. Excellent reporting tonight. Now, the video and pictures coming in are just incredible. We have a growing gallery right now on WJLA.com. 7 News is staying on top of this story. We will go back to Jay in just a few minutes, or if there are any new information comes in, we'll go in immediately. You can also follow along on our website right now. Well, also tonight, the First Alert Weather Team is tracking one weather system that will bring us 3 different weather alert days starting on Sunday. Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson is tracking what has the potential to become a nor'easter by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, big impacts, Carl, for areas of New England and just northern portions of the mid-Atlantic. For us tomorrow, today to prepare tomorrow, it's going to be dry. We'll be partly sunny. Temperatures in the 50s, too, so really nice. But we mentioned the potential for a nor'easter. It will come from these 2 storms here, kind of merging into one and then driving up the coast with lower pressure. But that system right now, the bulk of it, 800 miles away. Moisture will come out of the Gulf of Mexico and into the DMV starting late morning on Sunday, the way it's looking right now. So Saturday, you're dry. Use the day to prepare. We've got 2 inches of rain coming Sunday and wind gusts on Monday or late Sunday and Monday, just over 40 miles an hour. So we've got a flood alert for Sunday, wind alert for Monday, and cold for Tuesday with wind chills that'll start out in the teens and 20s after 50s this upcoming weekend and Monday. I'm back with a look at your future radar next.
All right, that's going to keep you busy. VJ, thank you very much. And don't forget to download the free First Alert weather app. You can track this storm on live radar and get alerts sent to your phone based on where you live. Now, we also have a button that you can tap to directly upload your weather pictures and video, and you just might see what you submit right here on TV and on WJLA.com. Well, developing now in Arlington, police investigating a triple stabbing along Columbia Pike. The first call came in shortly after 6 o'clock tonight from an apartment complex where police found a wounded man. As officers searched that area, they found 2 more victims, including a juvenile. One of the victims was critically wounded, another seriously injured. We're told there was a report of a fight before the first emergency call about a stabbing. And at last check, there was no description of who police are looking for right now. Well, covering Montgomery County, police are still searching for the man they believe ran down 3 people outside of the county courthouse in Rockville yesterday afternoon. Rockville police have a warrant out for Walter Giovanni Marquez Aviles, who will face attempted murder charges once he's brought into custody. A 79-year-old woman and 2 younger men were run over. We've learned that one of those men has been released from the hospital. Well, a Montgomery County police officer who was hit and nearly killed on Interstate 270 in October has received a new honor for stopping drunk drivers and promoting road safety. Sergeant Patrick Kep lost both of his legs after trying to stop a speeding driver who police say intentionally hit that officer. Kep was previously recognized for his work in helping to stop DUI drivers, and today we heard from him during the awards ceremony, at times getting emotional talking to his fellow officers.
To my law enforcement family and all those who have been incredibly instrumental in making it so I'm here today. This is the most dangerous time of the year. In Montgomery County, we have the Holiday Task Force, which is out there working, men and women from Montgomery County Police Department, from our allied agencies, working to make these arrests through checkpoints, saturation patrols, channelization, regular enforcement, and things like that.
Now, at today's ceremony, 17 local police officers were recognized for their help in stopping drunk driving. And covering Metro now, if you ride the bus starting this Sunday, service is expanding to run 24 hours a day on 14 of the most popular routes in D.C. And there will be at least one 24-hour bus in all 8 wards 7 days a week. Now, despite Metro's massive budget shortfall, this is possible because the D.C. Council voted to give Metro $12 million for 24-hour bus service. And for those of you taking the train downtown, you'll need to plan ahead. That's because major construction on the Red Line is closing several stations for 2 weeks. Starting Monday, Red Line trains will not be running between the DuPont Circle and Gallery Place stations. The track and tunnel repairs are expected to wrap up by December 30th, and free shuttle buses will be available. Well, a Virginia mother is now facing more time in prison after her 6-year-old son shot his first-grade teacher earlier this year. Deja Taylor's son shot Abby Zwerner in January. The boy told authorities that he got his mother's gun from her purse. Well, today, Taylor was sentenced to 2 years in prison for child neglect. Last month, she was sentenced to 21 months for using marijuana while owning a gun. Prosecutors say her son will not be charged. Well, new information tonight about the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. The Los Angeles Medical Examiner's report points to acute effects of the anesthetic ketamine as a secondary factor in his drowning on October 28th. The report also highlights other contributing factors, including coronary artery disease and a drug used to treat opioid use disorder. Perry's death was ruled an accident. Well, we continue to follow breaking news next at 11. The massive fire destroying a historic firehouse. Over 100 first responders still trying to get that fire under control. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And continuing our breaking news coverage along North Capitol Street, a fire destroying a former firehouse that was undergoing renovations. This fire so big that Montgomery County firefighters also had to rush in to help DC Fire. Let's go back live to our Jay Korf now. And Jay, this is a really big loss for that neighborhood and historic site.
Indeed it is, Carl, and I'm going to get out of this shot so you can see it right in front of me. You might see some firefighters rolling up some of these hoses. That certainly doesn't mean that they're done. This is going to be a long haul. They've got those aerial ladder trucks shooting that water down into the building. There's a lot of floors. There's a lot of debris. Look, this was a hotel that was 90% done. It was under renovation. And what was so neat about this structure is that it was both new and old. Off to your right is the new structure. It's about 4 stories tall. That was the new building. And then they had integrated this beautiful old engine 12 firehouse. I'm talking built in the late 19th century, so 2 centuries ago, so in the late 1800s. And so right now what they're trying to do is, you can't see a lot of fire and a lot of smoke, but trust me, there is a lot of action going on inside. And they say it's going to take them hours to get this under control and to contain it. And just a short moment ago, we spoke with Chief John Donnelly to talk about the historic nature of this old firehouse.
I think when we say turn of the century, we should be sure to say the 1900s. I believe this building was built prior to 1900 for in the horse-drawn era. It was last used as a fire station in 1987.
It remains to be seen to what degree they can save this historic structure. They are certainly going to try to do that. We should mention that at one point there was a mayday from the firefighters. They had to pull them out and then do a defensive posture. The great news, no injuries. As a precaution, they have evacuated some people who live in this neighborhood, but they believe that there's no danger in that regard. Again, it's going to be a long time before they figure out a cause. They're going to have to look through all this rubble and debris in the coming days and maybe even in the coming week. Reporting live in the district, Jay Korf, 7 News.
All right, glad to hear no one was hurt. Jay, thank you very much. Now, this is a story that on any other day or night, our now former D.C. Bureau Chief Sam Ford would have covered, but he retired tonight. But not before joining me on the set as we honored his legacy here at 7 News. Sam, a proud father, was also joined by his daughter Gina, who shared some fond memories of her dad's 5-decade-long career.
So first of all, we're so proud of you, Daddy. And I literally grew up, I feel like, in ABC 7 because since 2 years old, he was here working. And it's funny because every place we went, I'm a kid growing up trying to spend time with Dad, people, hey, newsman, newsman. So anyway, I'm glad he's going to have a much earned retirement.
Very well earned. And Sam and his longtime work partner at Channel 7, video journalist Peggy Gilgannon, sat down with him to talk about the highlights of his career. And Sam also had a message to our viewers.
To the viewers and to the people in Washington, it's been a wonderful experience being a news reporter at Channel 7. I'm sure we'll see each other on the streets, and let's speak if we do. But I've enjoyed covering the stories, telling your stories, and I've enjoyed meeting you on the streets, and I'm sure, we'll still be meeting each other. Of course, me and Miss Peggy are lifelong friends, and we'll be friends forever.
Forever. That's it. Nothing else needs to be said.
And I made sure to ask, Sam says he's going to be keeping his cell phone number for a little while. I know I'll be calling him, leaning in on him for his knowledge out there. And it was just so great to see all the honors for him today, VJ.
It really was. The one thing I love about Sam is that he cares so dearly about the community and, of course, his community right here that he's known for so long here at 7 News. But, yeah, the next chapter, that will be very interesting. I think he's going to be maybe reporting in a different way. That's all. Okay, so let's talk about our weekend and weekend comparison. This weekend, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. We got the flood alert for Sunday I just mentioned. What about next weekend? It's Christmas Eve on Sunday, and we've got upper 40s to lower 50s. Partly cloudy skies right now expected next Sunday for your Christmas Eve. It's looking dry, but really mild, so no white Christmas expected. And dry tomorrow. I like that because for this particular event, Reeves across America, it's been some years that have been pretty wet and soggy. So hopefully you'll be able to come out, join folks putting on the wreaths. 36 degrees at 8 a.m., 10 o'clock in the morning, 46, and then 53 by noon. Temperatures rise quickly. It's going to be a comfortable day tomorrow and dry with a temperature maxing out about 56, 57 degrees. The evening for zoo lights, mid 40s and then dropping to the lower 40s by the time we get to 9, 10 o'clock. Good evening to be out. Mentioned the flood alert for Sunday. There it is again. Here's a look at the changes. Some showers around the area, pretty light starting out during the late morning hours around lunchtime and 1 o'clock. But by 5 o'clock, I think we're going to see more persistent rain around the area and pockets of moderate to heavy rain after 7 p.m. lifting from south to north right through the area. For 11 p.m. for midnight, look at the waves of heavy rain. That's that area of low pressure. So the track could change in terms of how much rain we're going to get, but right now looking like 1 to 2 inches, most of it overnight first thing Monday morning. So Monday morning still could be a lot of water sitting on the road. And Monday, we're still going to have some high winds around here. Here's a look at the impacts. Poor drainage flooding for Sunday. There could be some reduced visibility, some tidal flooding too, maybe even some spotty power outages, especially east of I-95. Not done just yet because Monday I mentioned the wind alert, wind gust over 40 miles per hour, and cold alert for Tuesday with wind chills that will be down into the teens and 20s. So that's a look at tomorrow, a day to prepare. We've got a lot of rain coming our way again late Sunday going through early Monday morning, and then pretty cold for Tuesday with those wind chill temperatures again, 20s across most neighborhoods, rising only to about 30 degrees by 2 to 5 p.m. By the time we get to the mid part of next week, you've got winter arriving on Thursday, looking dry, sunny, also around 50 degrees. Natalie?
Thanks, VJ. Wizards all gas, no breaks tonight at Capital One, giving fans performance they have been waiting to see. From high-powered slams to high-percentage shots, how the team was able to get the job done tonight against a very good Pacers squad. That's coming up next in sports. The Wizards still searching for that elusive fourth win of the season. Tonight they host the Pacers, who are fresh off their appearance in the championship game of the NBA in-season tournament. Indiana leading as we wind down the first quarter. Wiz able to keep this possession alive, and thank gosh they do. Hello, Bilal Coulibaly with the slam. Washington going on a run here. They score 39 points in both the second and third quarters. Daniel Gafford all smiles after that bucket. Wiz up big, and they do not take their foot off the gas. Tyus Jones the lob to Kyle Kuzma for the shove. Wizards beat the Pacers tonight 137-123, their best win so far this year. And we are now just hours away from a major showdown in the ATL. Howard will soon square off against Florida A&M in the Celebration Bowl. The Bison are MEAC champs, while the Rattlers are winners of the SWAC. Now, regardless of the outcome, one team will make history, bringing home their program's first Celebration Bowl title. Howard is going for their 6th HBCU national championship.
That's the goal from the jump. You know, when you're off season in January, that's the thing that we preach. You know, we want to play in December. So it definitely means everything for us, and, you know, we're going to go out here and be ready to play.
I want them to understand their accomplishment and kind of appreciate what they accomplished and be excited about what they did. But understand that we still have to finish it. And one way, you know, the way that we're going to finish it is to go down here and play our best football.
Tomorrow's big game will be a noon kickoff, and remember, you can watch all the action right here on 7 News. Best of luck to those Bison. We are certainly rooting you on. All right, and also on our Saturday slate in college hoops, the Hoyas travel to Notre Dame to face the Fighting Irish at 2 o'clock. Then the Hokies host Vermont at 4, and wrapping things up at 6, UVA takes on Northeastern.
Now, your first alert weather Zonecast.
Our weekend will start so much better than it's going to wrap up. Mid-50s tomorrow. We're going to be dry, but look at the rain for Sunday. We'll start out with light showers, and then the intensity of the rain picks up. So really, this is late day Sunday with moderate and heavier rain. Over 3 inches predicted. Dahlgren, La Plata, Fredericksburg, Manassas. That's one of the zones that will have some of the heaviest rain. Lighter rainfall amounts, and when I say lighter, I mean, look at this. Comparatively so, that's about 1.5 inches for Martinsburg and Winchester. Lighter amounts, too, for southwest around Orange, around areas like Warrenton, about 1 1/3 inches. And here's an area that will also have some heavier rain right here in the D.C. area with over 3 inches ending late Sunday. We're back after this with another look at the 7-day forecast.
Well, tomorrow, thousands of people will descend on Arlington National Cemetery for an annual tradition honoring our fallen service members. But first, the dozens of truck drivers who delivered over 250,000 wreaths were recognized for their help in honoring America's fallen. Tomorrow, starting at 8 in the morning, volunteers will help place nearly 260,000 wreaths. That's one for each headstone. But also keep in mind that there will be backed up roads across Roslyn until the afternoon. Well, stay with us. We have one last update on the massive fire destroying a historic building and an update on a trio of weather alerts that you need to know about.
First alert weather, 7-day forecast up now. Our warmest day with sunshine is going to be tomorrow at 56 degrees. The wettest easily Sunday, especially late. Windiest Monday, coldest on Tuesday. A high temperature just 41 with those wind chills in the 20s and lower 30s for the afternoon. And then we're back to sunshine. Look at the first day of winter next Thursday, the high of 50 degrees. So have a great weekend. Take advantage of tomorrow. Carl?
BJ, thank you. Now, we will continue to follow breaking news along North Capitol Street, where more than 100 firefighters are currently working to try to get a massive fire under control at a former firehouse of all places. That building is a part of a renovation project along with another building next door. We're told that firefighters evacuated safely before it started caving in. Now, we will have updates in the morning and on WJLA.com. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Jimmy Kimmel Live is next. Have a great night.